Hey Sumera. So welcome to your fourth essay correction. I've included a note about the handwriting one in this email. We don't correct handwritten essays because it would require us to type out the entire essay, and we're quite busy here and we simply don't have time for that. But on the topic of this essay, one thing that's troubling me is the absence of an introduction. Or is this your introduction? If this is your introduction, then where's the question? So let's just say that that's the intro. Okay, so it's a problem and solution essay. What are the causes of the problem, of the decline in quality of life, and what are some solutions? Okay, so in the modern era, there is a trend of decline in the prosperity of people's lives. This should be plural, people's lives. Specifically in, don't use big. Big is informal. Major cities. This essay will outline the main causes behind this issue and suggest a viable solution. In the quest for a better life, every year, a large number of people migrate from rural to urban areas, which eventually overcrowd many metropolitan centres. Due to the increase of population, let's just say many other critical issues such as pollution, congestion on the roads, inflation, and price hikes in real estate begin to emerge. For instance, so we should say here, for instance, larger cities such as Mumbai, Karachi, and do you mean Shanghai here? I don't recognise Qinghai, but Shanghai are some of the overcrowded cities in the world where people's quality of life is somewhat below other cities of the same country, because more than 20% of people, I'm not quite sure what you mean by this. 20% of people shift from where? Are you saying that 20% of all people in small cities move to big cities? More than 20% of the rural population move to larger cities The problem here is that you've started this example by saying in these cities people are overcrowded and quality of life is below that of other cities. Actually, we should say that. Okay, now I'm kind of happy with it. There are many sustainable options to mitigate the problem. So this word here, it's certainly good, but there's no need to use it. Never ever use a long word when a simpler one would do the same job. So if we look at some synonyms here, we've got prevalent, dominant, predominant, superior. These would all be better. But what would be more specific? The most likely one to succeed is to provide some facilities in rural areas, such as well-equipped high-tech hospitals, schools, and direct access to the cities. As a result, people will have the same quality of life in rural areas, which can have a significant impact on the urban people by reducing the burden on cities. For instance, according to a recent study in Australia and Germany, over the last 2 decades, due to equal facilities in both the countryside as well as in major cities, there has been a 40% decline in the number of people shifting to dense environments. To conclude, there is an increase in the number of migrating people, or migrants, from small towns to large cities because of the existing better medical, education and employment opportunities. Educational and employment opportunities, which leads to overpopulated cities. It can only be reduced by providing the same facilities in the countryside areas as well. So all in all, you did respond to the task well, but there were quite a number of edits necessary to make it a worthwhile response. So pay close attention to things like the use of the word big. Don't do that. Make sure that your reasoning flows, so that when you're writing a paragraph, it should make clear your point, to introduce a topic, to expand it, to support it with an example, and to explain how it answers the question. But I'll send this over to you now. I look forward to your next piece. I know your exam is soon, so let's get a move on. All the best, Sumera. Speak soon.